This is part of a video that I recorded with Digital Bloodlines. I've linked the channel in the description, and I'll put the link to the other part, which should be up on her channel soon. I'll put it in the description when it's posted. And thank you to Digital Bloodlines for collabing with me.
So one thing I really liked about your video is your perspective of having never read the comics, or at least not knowing all of it. So I think that was really interesting on some of the takes you were having, because there is a lot of stuff that just does not make sense if you haven't read the comics, and I didn't realize that before.
And I think I liked that there weren't, I think season 2 had it a bit more, but in season 1 and for a lot of season 2, there weren't that many episodes dedicated solely to a romantic subplot.
Yeah.
Like it was mostly just kind of like about them trusting each other, about them building their powers, and I really, really loved that.
Right, that is awesome. Yeah, because even in the comics, the boys aren't usually like the forefront. Like those dudes, they'll do stuff with, like they'll have like some art storylines with them, but like I do feel like the core is more the friendship of everybody, and I'm like, I love that.
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite guy?
Well,
and is it the same from the show and the TV on the comic, or is that like different between?
Definitely different. Like I'll say right off the bat that Caleb and Matt are like two different people in comics versus TV show.
Okay, yeah, I think I like something like that.
Yeah, I like them better in the TV show. I don't like comic them. In the comic, yeah,
I've seen pictures of Caleb in the comics, and even they look really old.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, they look like they're in their 20s.
Yeah. What you're saying?
Yeah, I will say in the comic, I'm gonna say I've liked Eric the most, which I know you liked him in the show.
Yeah, no, he is the best guy in the show as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he is. He probably is actually in both worlds, probably the best guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, at least that's nice to know.
Yeah, for sure.
The only other note that I had was that I just like Phobos being in the show, to be honest.
Yeah, I loved when he was around. Yeah.
Yeah, after season 2. I don't know, season 1 he just wasn't that interesting to me, but season 2, I don't know what happened. It was just yeah.
They made us so sassy. I love it.
Yeah, I was obsessed with that. So I could see him becoming kind of like more of a man on the inside, like when they need advice on certain villains. They can go to him, and him not necessarily getting like a full-on redemption arc, but just kind of like, how do I say, just kind of from villain to like morally gray, and we're okay, like that. Like no, I don't believe in like full-on redemption arcs. I feel like sometimes characters don't really deserve them. It's kind of going to be weird to write, but it's like entering a place where it's like there's no bad blood between us. Like we can acknowledge what you did wrong, and you're still going to pay the price. But we don't necessarily hate you. And so I put this stuff on just about the whole coming from a matriarchal society kind of thing. Like, because sitting here now, I'm like, yes, that's amazing that like the women are the ones who inherit the kingdom. I'm like, yes, feminism. But then it's like when the world is in such a way that it's always then tipped in favor of women. Like, what does that look like? Is it actually fair in that sense? I don't know. That kind of, like I said, that conversation would be really, really interesting for the show to tackle.
Yeah. Oh wow. You have to see. I had a theory video not too long ago on trying to figure out how old Phobos is.
Because fun.
Yeah, because in the comics, there's like things that are. It's like it's either they make it look like he's like somehow thousands of years old. But also not. So it's like you'll have to see that, because that's a pretty interesting discussion. And I think I talk about like maybe he's so bitter just because like they were like, because you know how here in some cultures where it's like, you know, if they want a son, they'll just like, I don't even know, like treat the daughter a certain way until they have a son or something. So I'm like, is that how it went down in Meridian? Like
that's because I did there was one episode where Elion like goes into like a meditation chamber to like learn about her parents, and a lot of it was altered. But for one thing, you see Phobos being like younger, but still like he looks like he could be like 13, I think. So I think he's 26. That's like my roughly, but I don't know. But so it means that he's like probably aging like how normal people age.
Yeah.
But also I thought their parents were just mean to everyone. But who was it? It was Elion's adopted parents who were like, no, your parents were like very kind, were very good.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that maybe that's what they were doing, that it looks like they were kind and good to Elion, whereas to Phobos they were terrible. Well, how do you feel about Nerissa, do you think? Because you read the comics and watched the show. Like, so do you think that they did her justice? Do you think that she was more interesting in the show or more interesting in the comics?
She's a lot more interesting in the in the show. The comics is like, I don't even know. It could be, she could be so much better. Like, I love arc 1 of the comics, which is season 1, and then arc 2 of the comics, I like the show more than the comimics.
Okay, so that's sense. Arc 2 is when Nerissa's around, right? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I like show Nerissa a lot compared to what she is. If you ever do you plan on ever reading them?
I don't know, because I don't really have them at my disposal, and even then, probably not at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, there was so much things that you had pointed out that I didn't even catch, by the way, with the thing, like how like with Nerissa getting out of her prison. And you were just like, oh, because they said they stopped watching her 13 years ago, and it's just like, well, she was like out way before that.
Yeah, because if she was Trill, then some of the stuff, like the math was not adding up. Like, I was like, the years, something's happening. I like the twist. I like twists. And I think when I first watched it, because I watched it like a year before last, like I watched it like 2 years ago, and then I dropped it, and then I picked it up again to do the video. But when I watched that, I was like in shock at like the twist that like she's Caleb's mother, right? And then I was like, hold on. Like at some point I'm like, okay, listen, I love her as a villain.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how did she get away with what she did? Because she couldn't have escaped at most 13 years ago. But Caleb is 16.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
And then Trill had been working in the palace from like the point that Elion was born. Like, things were not adding up.
Yeah, definitely does not add up. Just like, and let's see. And I tried to ask too. I think when I was talking to the guy who wrote it, I was just like, he doesn't remember anything that what his plans were for like a season 3.
Yeah.
But I think he was just like, because he talks about a little bit what he was thinking about when he made Trill and everything. I think he covers it, and it's just like, it might have just been like a crazy twist to have a twist. He's like, oh, these characters, I'm going to try to make them tie into this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be shocked if when Trill was introduced in season 1, they didn't know she was supposed to be Nerissa until season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know? I don't know if you know, but there's like a whole different team of writers for season 1 versus season 2.
That doesn't shock me.
Right?
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, they decided to like get rid of almost everybody from the first season and bring in new people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It changes a lot. Like, because they have to pick up where they left off, and it's like if they were going one way, they're now going another way.
And there must have been a lot of retconning that happened.
Probably, I think.
Because I think what could have made the twist make a little bit more sense is if Trill had existed and then Mage just disguised herself as her and like either killed her or like sent her away, something like that. Because like same thing with the Mage.
Yeah.
That the Mage was dead, yes, but Nerissa was like, so the Mage existed and then Nerissa just pretended to be her. Just because Trill having never existed, I don't know if I buy that enough. But
yeah. I think she was like in one episode of the first season. She was like just like giving them food or something.
Yeah, she was in the episode, the Labyrinth episode. I think that's when she was introduced. And then
that's it.
She was here and there, but she never really did anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to mention. Have you seen that there is a Witch reboot?
The comic version.
The comic. Yeah, the comic's got a reboot.
How do you feel about it?
I've only read the first issue so far. I haven't read the second one yet. Mostly because it's also not available in English, so like
what language is it in?
It's available in available in Italy, Germany. Oh, sorry, Germany by next. No, they have it. It's like just like 3. It's like I think Poland has it, Italy, Germany. It's like not widespread yet.
Okay.
Which is so weird because you think they would want it to be everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is kind of strange because I feel like it's just going to die before it really takes off.
Yeah. And when you say reboot, is it like set in modern day? Is it following the same plot lines? Like, I've seen the characters, I've seen what they look like. It's it's interesting.
Yeah. It's modern day, same names and sort of same girls, but not really. Like, there's a lot of stuff changed, and the plot is definitely different. I feel like they would have been better off really just having whole new Guardians, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I think that could have been an interesting premise.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe have the originals just be mentors.
Mm,
But yes, I don't quite like the reboot, but I like some of the things like plot wise that they're doing.
okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I will tell you, I don't like the Oracle. Like, I know you, I know you liked him in the show, but
He was just cute. That's all I know
yeah,
about him.
yeah. But in the comic, for me, I really want him to be like this like secret villain over time. Like,
Honestly, I could see it, especially
yeah,
because I don't justify Nerissa's actions, but I also feel like I would be really annoyed to have been chosen to be like the holder of the heart,
yeah,
right? And then for him to just be like, I don't like how you're dealing with like it. Just
yeah,
like he just says she was being corrupted by it.
yeah,
But I just feel like if you think that she was being corrupted by it, then surely you just like ripping it away from her would
yeah,
make things worse. Like I don't know,
exactly.
something about that felt a little bit fishy in my opinion.
Yeah, like they didn't even try therapy or like,
Just like talking to her, no intervention, just
yeah,
immediately, yeah.
what is it called when reviews from work or something? Yeah,
I like this coworker analogy. It's very
yeah.
funny.
I just like think about it. It's like it's such a job, so it's like,
But I
nope.
am such a
Yeah,
big fan of like that trope,
yeah,
especially with in like magical like fantasy shows when it's like you're fighting on one side and you think that you're on the right side and you're like, wait, something about this is kind of fishy,
yeah,
right? And then
yeah.
like the people that you thought were like the good guys, you're like, I don't know. But yeah.
That's exactly that's what I want. Like if you watch any of my reviews, I'm just looking at the Oracle with so much like side eye. Like,
Mhm.
what are you up to? Yeah,
Yeah. Also, because like, how did he not realize that Nerissa was like the old lady that she was? Like, I don't know if I buy it. What she was, what do you call it? Because I know the ancient one did kind of like mess with his powers. So like, fine, I guess you could use that
mm,
argument. But
hmm,
there's just something about him.
yeah,
I also want to see him use actual magic.
yeah.
I
That'd be
have
cool.
just come from seeing Wicked last weekend.
Oh, I'm going this weekend.
Oh my gosh, you need to see. I love it. Um, but the whole thing of like in like the original Wizard of Oz,
Yeah,
with the wizard not even being like an actual wizard, just kind of being a fraud. That's
hmm,
what I can think about with the Oracle. That like
yeah.
he just acts like he knows what's going on. He's like the wise one, but it's like use your powers. Let's see it.
Right, for
Yeah,
sure. I would love that.
that'll be
That'd be
interesting.
good. Yeah,
I think there's like so much to explore. I think okay, I know I made jokes about this in my video, but like I actually think it could be something that's very much you should talk about it. But like the whole thing with like monsters and like how Elion is scared of them and whatever. And then like you don't really see them that much in season two.
yeah,
And it's kind of like where did they go? Like I don't know, it's like kind of addressing the element of yes, they were evil, but like they were like reasoned with, you know. Phobos was just like, you're working for me now, and they were like, okay.
yeah,
And so not because of what they looked like were they evil, right?
yeah, yeah. Because all yeah, you see that like a lot of in the show, like all the rebels are mostly human,
Mm,
and everyone working for Phobos is like a monster for the most part, and
yeah.
that really says something.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
And do you know the cartoon Star versus the Forces of Evil?
Yes.
They also try to do some. I have things about that show. I've
Yeah.
been working on a video.
Ah.
It's been taking a long time because there's just so much to say. There's so much that they did wrong. But
Yeah.
they tried to do that, like the whole like monster human racism.
Yeah.
It did not work. It did not work because it really seemed like they were trying to say like the opposite
Ah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like I think I saw a post about how there are humans in Meridian, but there's also I don't know what you call them, but the ones that they either have blue or green skin and then like stone-like structures. So Arlon was
Yeah.
one of them, Vathik was one of them. I guess Elion's parents would also be one of them. And those were like the original like people of the land kind of
Yeah.
thing. Which that sounds like we're getting somewhere
Yeah.
very a
That
very
is
specific
true.
issue. But yeah.
Yeah. They are Elion's family basically showed up in Meridian, basically like comic history wise, and then
Mm-hmm.
just became the rulers.
But that sounds an awful lot like Star versus the Forces of Evil.
Yeah.
But even then, that one, I just don't think they did it well. They did not do it justice, like the whole idea. It's really fun because I don't want to spoil the show too much, but I will say that Star starts to show up as a princess, but you learn that she's actually not, her family's not the rightful rulers. But the rightful ruler is still a human, like, looks like a human person, basically. But it's because she married a monster, and like there was a lot of drama around that, so they kind of did away with her, kind of thing. But that was a really interesting element of the show. I think there's like times when you can just do so much, but I don't personally love when like fantasy shows will like use monsters and like zombies and like other non-human creatures to explain allegories of race, because a lot of the time the people who are supposed to be Black or indigenous people or just non-white are ugly monsters, and a lot of the time there's a reason why people despise the monsters, and so it suggests that real world racism is based on an initial action caused by the people who are being oppressed, if that makes sense. Like they did something wrong first and we've just been retaliating. And I don't know if I jive that much with that, but
And I know, I just noticed too that all the rebels in the show I think are white, except for, I mean, there's Aldarn, who's got green skin, but like all the humans are white.
Very much so. I also noticed that like when Elion's like being like coronated and everything, and then almost other times that you see her parents, they'll be in their human forms, which makes you wonder. I also do question like how they're able to transform. Is it like people have two sides? It could be an interesting thing to write, that like you have the ability to switch between two. And some people just don't believe in switching, like they just don't think that it's good to switch. I don't know, like that could also be like an interesting arc to write. I think there's like so much to discuss in this world of Winx that like I just can't justify not giving it a reboot, because there's so much that you can say. It's not like the story was done. Like there's so much to explore, so much to unpack, that kind of thing.
Right? Like I'll pop this in right now. Is my theory in the comics with the transformation, because they do show them switching like between monster and human, is that they can choose what they look like when they turn, like when they do their form, like it's a glamour. Because Elion's mom in her adopted mother in the comics has red hair in her human form. And my theory with that was she chose to look like, maybe they knew Will was going to be the leader in the future, so she chose to look like Will to sort of give her that sense of comfortability with her or something.
That's nice,
Yeah, that's what I was theorizing with that.
Theory.
Yeah.
I also feel like when discussing like the downfall of Witch, it's like, I don't know, it would be interesting to like look at like society at the time. Like what kind of stories like for women were we enjoying, which ones were we kind of like pushing down, and what category did like Witch fall into. That would also be pretty interesting.
I know, right? Yeah, it's so crazy. Like I didn't even realize how many, like I keep seeing clips of stuff from the 2000s where it's like someone's super thin and they're like calling her fat.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh. Let's bring it. There's a movie, one of my favorite movies, Bring It On. Like the original 2000 version. I love that movie so much, but there's this one part where they keep calling this one girl, like they keep saying she had a fat ass. She literally had the most beautiful body I've ever seen in my life, and also her ass was not that big. I literally like there's a point where they have a whole like scene dedicated to it, and it's like it's not that big, and it's a perfect size. Like it's an amazing ass in my opinion. But it's just like it's just so crazy to like see that kind of thing, especially in the early 2000s. And I think there's something about, someone questioned if Urban was like chubbier in the comics. So I've seen pictures of her in the comics where she does like not necessarily like fat, but like just kind of more on the chubby side. That kind of thing. So I don't know if like they turned it down in the show, because like in the show they more or less have the same body type. I will say I do appreciate that for the most part, when they're not in their guardian forms, they're not necessarily sexualized. Like it's just very much giving like just young. There was that one episode. I don't know what was going on in that episode with their legs, but like other than that, they were just kind of wearing clothes all the time, so I could never see what their actual like physique was all the time, which like I appreciate it, because I just think that especially when they're that young, it doesn't need to be about their body size and their body type.
And actually in the reboot of the comics, they don't age up, because like you could kind of see in the comics originally they kind of age up, But now in the new one, they don't. They're like they look like they're same age, same body shape, and everything
That's
when they transform.
interesting.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I do like that.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's fun. So remember I said that I liked them aging up because I think that with some of the way that the clothes looked, I feel like it would be weird putting a middle schooler in those kind of clothes. So it's kind of like giving them the best of both worlds, like not having to like have them be significantly older,
Yeah.
while they can still look like, because you know, like you watch shows with like 30-year-olds pretending to be that they're 12, and it's like very weird to you. So it's like
Yep.
having the best of both worlds. I think I need to like look at the pictures again from
Yeah.
what they look like in there, because it is kind of interesting to like see when they do the opposite thing, where they just don't let them age up, kind of thing.
Yeah. And they have new outfits, like whole new different outfits for the.
I think I've seen these ones, yeah.
Yeah. And
It's fun.
yeah, I like the idea that there's new outfits. Some of the outfits are like but
Yeah.
still.
Hmm.
It's cool that it's different and then they stay age. They don't have shoes in the new one,
Okay, I need to
which
look at
is
this.
yeah,
Yeah,
look
hold
at
on.
the reboot
I had
outfits.
like every time you look up witch, you just see some stuff about witchcraft.
Yeah. I always have to type like witch, Disney, comics, and then
Yeah,
sometimes I
witch
have to
cartoon. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes you have to put their whole names like Will, Irma, Tarani, Cornelia. It's
Hmm.
like it's so bad.
I don't know if I don't think I talked about it in my video because it was already 4 hours long, and I was like, I cannot add another half hour to this.
Yeah.
But there's this one girl who had made a really fun video about like how I think I made a joke about how Ben 10 is a magical girl.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he like fits the criteria. So
Yeah.
it was on TikTok, so I had to go find the TikTok. And then she like did some more stuff about it on like the spectrum of it.
Hmm.
And she goes from like really good to really bad. And at really good she put Winx Club, and at really bad she put Witch.
Oh.
And I was
Okay.
like, that's interesting. And then so I clicked on another video to like find out why she hates Witch so much.
Yeah.
To which she said that she hates Witch because it ripped off Winx Club and then stole its thunder, something like that. And then like
Yeah.
apparently Disney sued Nickelodeon. I don't know where her receipts were.
Yeah.
But my whole thing was just like, why are you so upset when like Winx Club has been getting reboots,
Hmm.
has been in the mainstream media? Like no one, you can just talk to anyone and be like, do you know Winx Club? They're like, yeah, I know it. Even if they didn't watch it, they know it. It
Yeah.
got the Netflix show, which was terrible, by the way.
Yeah. I
But the
heard.
Netflix show, it got like +7 seasons, like so much.
Hmm.
And those seasons weren't even good. Like oh my God.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have very strong feelings about Winx Club because it's very nostalgic to me. I
Yeah.
do love it.
Ah.
But I can definitely tell it's not a very well written show.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that the earlier seasons, I don't remember them that well. So maybe you can make an argument that they were, but at some point it just became about like the aesthetics and like what they looked like and everything versus the actual story,
Yeah.
which never really sat right with me as a kid. So at that point it started like to decline, and they got the Magical World of Winx, and then now it's getting rebooted in like a 3D animated thing.
Yeah.
So it's anyone's guess. I think there's a debate to have if Winx Club has really won or if it has not.
Hmm.
But the point is that Witch definitely suffered more. Because
Yeah.
I think even when you look up Winx,
Yeah.
there's like, especially because Witch is called Witch. Like
Yes.
you look up like on Google, people are gonna pull up pictures of witches. I
Yeah.
was trying to find pictures for my video, trying to do anything with Witch, and same thing. So I think the fact that the subreddit is called like Gardens of the Veil also really helps.
Yes, for
So
sure.
if it was to get rebooted, I think not to change the title completely, but just to give it something a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
So it's like easy, like Witch Gardens of the Veil or something like that.
Exactly. I was thinking that too, because like if they change it to Guardians of the Veil, then you're kind of getting it mixed up with Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ah. But circling real quick back to Winx, the Winx versus Witch war is so so old. Like and it's still like I will say personally, I probably would like Winx. I caught a couple episodes when I was younger, but part of me is like a little bit bitter towards it because Witch didn't do so well. And I'm like, why are you getting so much love and not the thing I like? So I'm just like, I have not tried to, I'm like, I just can't bring myself to get into Winx because of that like deep-seated thing.
Definitely after binging the whole show and like doing a whole thing on it, it is very difficult for me to watch Winx now. However, I have been falling off for a little bit. And
Yeah.
there was a point that I don't know if it's like fair to like link it to like society, but sometimes it just really gets on my nerves when like, especially like media for girls, the ones that like aren't that good are the ones that get known better, like get recognized better. And the ones that are really, really, really good, like not even just like good for a show written for girls, like just a good show in general, are the ones that usually get like pushed aside. And so, yeah, I've heard like a lot of like the Witch versus Winx thing.
Yeah.
People always say Winx is better. I feel like I don't know anyone who's actually watched both Witch and Winx and prefers Winx.
Yeah.
Some people who say they prefer Witch who prefer, sorry, Winx have not watched Witch.
For sure.
Many of them.
Yeah.
Like every time, I feel like I'm just so old when I'm here. Like, I'm like, do you guys know Witch? And they're like, what are you talking about? All right. Because they just don't know what I'm talking about. And yeah, so I also, like I said in my video, like it's really dumb to like have to pit like shows written for girls against each other. Like they should both coexist.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that people couldn't differentiate the two when there's like so many differences between them, like so many. Exactly. I think my older sister pointed out that one of the biggest differences is that Winx is not really for like older girls. It was kind of like for like the younger, like it could be like preteens.
Yeah.
Which was like for like that teenage to teenage, like older. Not like it was that dark or anything, just that it wasn't really made for like babies.
Yeah.
And I feel like Winx Club was better suited for like young girls, kind of. So it's not even like they're even like trying to reach the same audience.
Yeah, that would be great for you to do a deep dive onto, because I know I'm not gonna. I just can't touch Winx. So you've seen them both. Yeah.
Honestly, like I might just get started to say some stuff right now, but yeah, it's not to say that Witch is good because Winx is bad. It's to say that Winx, and I did see, because I made a video on the live action Winx Club. I don't know if you didn't see it.
I haven't.
You're not missing out. Trust me.
I heard.
It was horrendous. But I did it during like my final exam, so I was like, I'm just gonna keep this as short as possible. And I think I made a comment on how Winx itself is not actually that good of a show in the first place, like writing wise. Like it's not terrible, it's just not that good anyway. So it's like a lot of how much I love it is just purely based on nostalgia. And for that reason, it's like the bar was so low with making a live action, like so low, and then you just fumble. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But people, there is some root to it of like, because there was someone who worked on Witch and also worked on Winx.
Fun.
Yeah, so there, I'll send you like all the information I have on it, but there is like a little something there. But yeah, people confuse it all the time. Like I have a Witch backpack that I made with like the wings. Yeah, and someone recognized it at a Ren fair recently. They were like, "Oh, Witch." I'm like, "Oh, you know it," because I also have a cup with the characters on it, and someone called the cup Winx. And I was like, "No, it's not it."
Not that, yeah. Also, real quick, I looked on the wiki. It says that Will is South Asian.
Oh, there's been so much debate about Will's race because in the reboot they totally change her like skin tone and her eye color.
Oh yeah, she's properly like ginger in the reboot. I've just seen now.
Yeah, but before, if you remember, well, I don't know if so. Susan, Will's mom, in the comic, she's got kind of a, I don't know how to describe it, but just like a long thin nose.
Okay.
Which like people are usually associating with, I think, Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And so like people think that Will's like a combination of like some Middle Eastern culture, and her father had red hair, so like something with like red hair.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah, but now like they've changed her. Even Susan in the reboot is blonde. Like,
oh, is it?
Yeah, she's like a basic white blonde, and it's like okay.
she's really Susan now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't think I properly saw. Do you know what happened? I think the wiki hadn't actually updated with the reboot Guardian forms. So I'd seen them in like their human reboot forms, but I hadn't seen the Guardian one. And this one called New Power. Yeah,
New Power's from the original comic run. Like they get like a new outfit look in the original.
Yes, that's what I was thinking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'll have to send you those. Like
I can like new on the. Okay, wait. I think they actually look. I like the art style. I won't lie. I kind of like. miss the original. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'm just so used to it, but I don't think that they look bad in this version.
Or the
Not
new
at
one.
all.
There was a picture comparing like the new group and the reboot, like how they look, and changed the colors to fit the original group because they're
Mhm.
everyone's kind of pale in this new one.
Yes. I think there's a very specific kind of like style of webtoon that I could associate with this.
Yeah.
Tarani's interesting. I like Tarani's. It's Yeah, I like the vibes, I guess.
Yeah. It's still pretty cool because I do say I like from the first issue I like the direction they're taking the story.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know how I feel about all of it. Like there's certain parts about the characters that are like kind of
Hmm.
weird. Like
I think,
Tarani.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
You said Tarani?
Yeah, so like for example, Tarani, they make like her personality is completely different. Like she comes off more aggressive in the new one.
I saw like, yeah, like one of the pictures looks like she's kind of like more standoffish, which is
Yeah,
an interesting choice, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff in the reboot because like there's like just stuff that seems very outdated. Like for example, they make Hey Lin, she's got like so many jobs, like side jobs, and like
Oh,
loves math, and it's like
you're crazy. You're lying.
no,
Sorry, you're actually
it's true.
lying.
It's so true. Like they
Wait, 10 seconds. Because I think I don't want to say too much, but like when you said the thing about Tarani,
yeah.
I feel like when you think about like a stereotypical like way that like black girls and like black people are written in general, I
Hmm.
wouldn't think about Tarani.
Hmm.
Which I'm looking at by writing someone not like with a stereotype, they're immediately a progressive and great character, but I'm just saying I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So when you said she was like kind of more standoffish in the reboot, it also kind of made me feel like kind of
Yeah.
like how like black women are like seen as like mean and like angry and like cold and like that kind of thing. So I don't know if I love that personally because I really like Tawani from the original.
Yeah.
But like Helen and the math thing, I don't know. That I can't defend that. That's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Like I didn't see some of that. Like the Tarani discussion was happening like very early on. People were like, "What are they doing?" Because Tarani, like in all of the promotional stuff, is angry. And
That's yeah.
yeah, and then it wasn't until after I read the first issue and like with what they did with Hey Lin, I'm kind of like, wait a minute, what are they doing? This is kind of backwards.
Yeah. Not to mention, I think this isn't in the video because I there's a part of the video that my little sister joined me.
Hmm.
In like the full version that I put on our podcast on Spotify, we
Hmm.
talked about their names
Oh
and
yeah,
how Tarani and Halen's names are gibberish.
yeah,
It has no, like Halen, for example, her name makes doubly no sense because Lynn is her last name.
yeah,
So her name is just Hey, which that's not a thing. Like
yeah,
a lot of Chinese people on the subreddit, I think I found a very specific subreddit post where they said it's too short of a name. There should have been another thing between that, like, but then it just kind of felt like it just sounded Chinese enough, so they were like, go for it. And then
hmm,
Tarani, it's the same thing. Like they just wanted to come up with something that sounded ethnic,
yeah,
which, you know,
yeah,
there's something like I just think it's just one of those things that you could just look up Chinese girls' names. Maybe you'll come up with Mei and Lee, and it's gonna be very basic, but at least it's a name.
yeah,
That's the thing. And like for
exactly.
Tarani, I just feel like she could have also just been called Jane. Like I, I just feel
Yeah,
like you didn't need to be. I think this idea of like foreignness, like associating foreignness with like certain characters of certain like races,
yeah,
can become extremely problematic.
yeah,
And yeah, I don't know who's like behind the reboot. I don't like know which creators are still working on it. Like if they're the ones who it was a thing about making Will not white,
yeah,
and then that became a debate, which is why it's left so ambiguous. And
yeah,
then for the reboot, they were like, you know what, we get to say now, just like no more ethnicities, no more non-whiteness, just completely
yeah,
red hair,
yeah,
blue eyes
exactly.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's
Um,
definitely interesting.
it is. There's I have like a book that came out for like the 15th anniversary of the comic, and it
Hmm.
talks about original names they were thinking for the characters. Like for example, Will was originally going to be called D, like
Interesting.
Dee, and then Irma was going to be Mara. Tarani was actually going to be like Phytha,
Okay.
like Faith, but with an A at the end. So maybe it was more Phaetha or Phytha. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Cornelia was always Cornelia, and then Halen was going to be Mylin, which seems a little bit more like actual, but it still would have been Mylin Lin.
Okay, so
Yeah,
still no actual name.
still bad. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. I I don't want to say too much. 'Cause I know I haven't read the reboot, but
Yeah.
if we're gonna like if I could make this into a TV show, I would definitely just kind of either ignore the reboot
Yeah.
or like maybe like use the aesthetics of it, but like keep the original personalities. So I
Yeah.
think the original personalities were pretty good, and I think I made a joke when I made a file for Haylin that she's an Asian character who doesn't have a purple streak in her hair. Someone point out there's like many of those for whatever reason. Um,
They
but
changed that.
at least, but
No, they put that, but in the reboot they gave her purple in her hair.
wait, are you actually playing with me?
No,
They
it's
did.
they did.
They did. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I just feel like,
They went backwards.
yeah, they de-evolved.
Yeah.
Oh no. um, yeah, it's. Mm,
I know. They got to do better.
a little bit, yeah. It's the same. I think the same thing happened with Winx actually. There was also drama with their reboot. Because I think they made all the non-white characters like these completely brighten their skin.
Oh yes, yes. I
Yeah, something
remember.
like that. Which
Yeah.
so yeah, it's like how did you go backwards? Wait, it's so confusing. Because I know like the live action version of Winx, people were mad
Hmm.
just because Winx was already known for having such like a diverse. I say such a diverse. There were like three white people, three non-white people,
Yeah.
which more diverse than some, let me say it like that.
Yeah.
And then when the reboot came out, I think there was only one person of like unambiguous, like definitely a person of color. I think one
Hmm.
other person, she had like an ambiguous ethnicity, but it wasn't really fair to like hound her and be like, what exactly are you? That's like this like terrible thing
Yeah.
to ask someone.
Yeah.
Um, so only one person who was like outwardly presenting as non-white. So
Hmm.
it just kind of felt like, why do we do that? Like, what made you do that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yep. Yeah,
There was nothing to
exactly.
fix. Yeah, like we're
Yeah.
kind of all, I thought that we were all okay, but I cannot believe they did that.
Yeah.
um, I also feel like I don't, and I know I shouldn't say this. I know I shouldn't say this, but the fact that they have her pictured holding a basketball, Tarani,
Oh yes.
it, you
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with liking basketball. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the fact that like she's never expressed anything like that.
Right. That was like her
I
brother's thing. In the comics,
Yeah,
Peter was into basketball in the comics, I have to say.
he wasn't. Oh, he was.
He was into it in the
Okay.
comics.
He like
And
plays it once in the show, which
yeah,
is like fine, but Tarani, I don't know.
because she used to be in the original, she was into photography. She was into oh, what else? But photography was like her big thing in the comics.
She also wanted to, I think in the TV show, she was kind of in one that's like teacher's pet, like liking all subjects and everything. But I think what she wanted to work on like the school newspaper. There was something about that.
Yeah.
Also her, because Irma wanted to work on the school radio.
Yeah.
It's like I got confused on that one, but she wanted to do school newspaper, and then not really given much outside of that. Although I will be fair, no one else was.
Mm,
Like it's not like I could easily tell you what everyone else wanted to be.
yeah.
Honestly, I just knew that Will didn't like maths and liked frogs. That's all I knew
Yeah.
about her, kind of. Um, but yeah, it's kind of disappointing, I feel.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I've never actually seen this whole thing. I like their vibe. Like when they're in their human form and everything, they look pretty fun, they look pretty cool. Um, but like the fact that we just started stereotyping crazy
Yeah.
is just kind of what like has shocked me just a bit. It kind of reminds me there's a lot of people now who like be so progressive that they actually end up
Backwards.
going
Yeah.
back. Yeah, because it just feels like you're just kind of like basing things on stereotypes and ooh,
Yeah.
I want Witch to do well. I'm saying if you're gonna reboot Witch, just do it justice.
Yes.
Please do it well, please. I
Yeah.
think Tarani was already such a fun character for me
Yeah.
that like, yeah,
She's
I
so
don't like what they did with her.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know, right? I know. I do definitely think that like the comic is like that ended in 2012, the comic. So it's like, okay, that's I haven't seen how that ends yet, so I'm not sure if it was a good ending or not. But then the show, I think we should just pick it up where we left off.
Yeah.
Yeah, just run with that.
That would be great. That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
And let's just keep the same aesthetics, I think. I think we're okay. I don't know if we need to give characters like extreme changes and everything.
Exactly.
And like make them really into math when they're Asian. Like I just don't think that that's necessary.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. This has been fun.
It's been great. And like let me know if you ever want to like do anything again, like any kind of discussion. It'll be so fun.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, you have a great day.
You too. Bye.